Hey, baby, it's time for the Nikki Alpert Podcast. Come on, pull up a chair. We gonna have some fun.
Tony Pearson, welcome to my virtual chair.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
It is so nice to see you. And boy, a lot has happened since we last spoke.
I know.
You and I met in October of 2020.
Right.
Last I met you, you were a 9-time world bodybuilding champion. And as of November 7th, I think you've got 10 of those under your belt now. Am I right?
Yes, I won the Masters, Mr. Universe, here in Las Vegas. Here in Vegas. It was at home.
At how old?
63.
At 63 years old, Tony Pearson is a champion again. And you know what? I was sent a trailer for the documentary that you're working on.
Okay.
And there was a big ass trophy you won. Is it anywhere nearby so I can see it and everybody else
Yeah.
can? Can
Hold
we see
on.
it?
It's
Okay.
huge.
Let me see it.
Hold on. Here we go. Whoop. Hold on. We'll get there in a minute. Here we go.
I'm trusting you can lift that thing.
Can you see it?
I can see a lot of it, but I think I don't see it. But that's what is, oh my God.
I know.
Is that the biggest trophy as far as size goes that you've ever gotten?
Yeah, but it's real. It's art.
Yeah.
Most is a typical trophy, but this is like a piece of art. So
Oh, how exciting is that for
I
you?
love it. I love it.
Bet.
It's amazing.
Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you.
So you competed at 63, and by the way, almost 64. And a minute ago, we were talking about how you hadn't done it in 5 years and the difference between being in your late 50s and your early 60s. Tell me about all of that, the prep. And I want to get into the book and the doc, but first let's just find out what just happened to you on November 7th when you won again.
Okay, 5 years is a lot, which I didn't believe. 57 is like easy. I did the show. I was in great shape. I won the Masters, Mr. USA, the Grandmasters.
The Grandmasters.
And I won a short open class. I won the open class. I won that as well. But
is short
recovery was a lot
open class
easier.
like short people? Like
Yes.
That's cute.
You know, I think about 5'6" short class. And
But you're 5'8"?
I'm 5'8", so
Okay.
I'm typically in the medium class.
Mm-hmm.
But as a competitor, there's not a lot of competitors, so I was in a short class.
Okay.
So that was a lot of fun. I recovered very quickly and everything was wonderful, but not this time around. It's very challenging.
Yeah. So it's a month and a half later and you're still struggling a little bit, huh?
Still fighting my way back, yeah. Dehydration, and I'm eating lots of fats now. Before I had no fats. For the whole year. It took me 1 year to prepare for the show. So,
And when you were younger, how long did it take for you to get ready for something like that?
about 6 weeks.
That's it.
Yeah.
Boy.
Had a super fast metabolism. You know.
Oh, has that slowed down for you?
Oh, tremendously.
Isn't that weird? When you're so used to it and so used to being lean and it just coming to you naturally, and then all of a sudden you're like, what the hell?
I have to diet now. I didn't diet as hard back in those days. I was training twice a day, but I would train, year round.
Right.
A basic diet, and the last 6 weeks, I said, oh, showtime, let's get ready.
Not anymore, huh? So the whole year you spent with I think I remember you telling me you basically eat chicken, broccoli, and rice, which is pretty old school, but that's what you do, right?
That's what I do. It works. I believe in it. My body knows it.
Clearly it works. You won again.
Right. But I didn't want to change anything. I want to try something new. I just want to make sure, stick to what I knew, just stick to the program. I had a lot of advice from a lot of people. And I go, I'm going to do it my way.
Oh.
If I lose, then it's on me. You take advice from other people.
Were you asking for the advice they were giving you?
No. People always volunteer advice. They tell you how to train, what you should do. I survived this long. I think I know what I'm doing. I know my own body.
Have you seen my trophies? I'm pretty sure I'm good at this. Although I know you, there's nothing like that would ever come out of your mouth, Mr. Humble, no ego, beautiful soul.
No, just, it started January January I started.
When did it start to get real tough on you?
That last 16 weeks. Yeah. So I was training 3 times a day and no fats coming in, 0 fats as much as possible.
Yeah.
I wanted to guarantee there was no fat on my body.
I saw you. There was no fat on your body.
So, but I took it too far. But you don't realize it. So,
when did you realize it?
After the show, not until the show was over. I go, oh boy, medical issues. Yeah.
Yeah, I spoke to you a week later, and you were not feeling well.
No, I could not. I was not even functioning. No, I was exhausted. I was mentally, physically exhausted. And I go, it's your age.
It's a hard thing to.
At 63, I'll be, 64 in a month.
I'm sure. Well, the ending of anything is difficult to admit to. So this was your very last. This was your retirement show. You're calling it, right?
Yes. And my body confirmed that for me physically.
How does your head feel about that?
It's okay. I mean, I won. I looked my best. I think I peaked the right time.
Yeah.
I mean, if you peak too soon or you peak too late, I think I peaked on that day.
Great.
That was really important for me. It's like a chess game you're playing every day, because I didn't weigh myself and do measurements. I think my body fat was down like 3 or 4%.
Jeez.
Oh, you had to be. So I'm not a big guy. So my trademark was being really, really conditioned.
Yeah.
So I had to get back to that level, whatever it took. And I had to really diet. Like I was saying before, I have super fast metabolism. I would go to prejudging at the shows, and I would eat carrot cake in front of the guys. I'll see you tomorrow on stage, I would say. We hate you.
But have you had some carrot cake since the
Oh, I've had everything.
Okay, good.
Pancakes, steak.
And are you starting to feel better?
Yeah, but how many weeks? 5, 6 weeks later, yeah. Just starting to feel better. My face is completely drawn out.
Oh.
Everyone said you look pale. You don't even look like yourself anymore. So yeah, my color is coming back, and it's amazing what it does to you.
It's amazing to think of how many years you've done that to yourself. And we all know, because we've seen, very famous people who've had so many health problems from doing too much.
Right.
So we've all known about it, but I guess
Yes.
until it really hits home, you don't take it to heart.
You don't. This is a wake-up call. So my client said to me, she said, I'm going to write up a contract and you're going to sign it because you're never going to compete again.
And did you sign it?
She didn't write. She was just kidding, but
I mean, mentally, are you?
Yes,
Good.
I signed it. Yeah.
I did hear you say in an interview that you've done since then that you wouldn't mind performing because there's less stress in that, but that you just will not compete again.
I'm not perform means the same thing, because
Okay.
expecting you to be as a competitor, and if I'm performing at a show,
You want to look your best.
I want to look better than the competitor's going to look. God, the guest posts look terrible. No.
Yeah, right? Why'd they have him?
No.
Well, okay, so you said that, but you've rethunk it since then, huh?
Yes.
Is thunk a word?
Yes.
Is rethunk a word? I don't think it is. Rethunk. Rethunk, I don't think.
Let me think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, don't thunk about it.
So yeah, it's done. But it was fun. It's exciting.
Good way to go out too.
Yes, to get on stage again, and had a lot of support from my clients, and it was a good night. And it was in Vegas, so
people there know you and all of that.
right. Yeah, didn't have to travel.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Especially during this time, right?
Oh God.
And also, what a great addition for the documentary.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
I mean, I would guess that you could start the documentary that way and you could end the documentary that way, because as far as I understand, this is really a documentary about where you came from and where you went.
Yes.
Right? And so
it's going to be my life story, as a child, and we're going to go down to Memphis, Tennessee, and go down to Bill Street, where I was raised.
Yeah.
And
it'll be different now than it was in the 60s, I would imagine.
Oh God, completely.
How long has it been since you've been to Memphis?
Every year I would go see my mom,
Okay.
just once a year. But this year I have not. No, I'm not going. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
I'm
And
afraid
it's
to
safer
fly.
Yeah.
Just for, imagine me getting sick or getting her sick.
Yeah. God, no. Okay, so the documentary shares the name with the book, right? It will be called Driven.
Yes.
The book you wrote, Tony, or folks, the book Tony wrote is called Driven: My Untold Story.
Yes.
And
you want to see it?
Please. You have the book in front of you?
I have the book. Where's the book?
Let me see. There it is.
Yeah, so here's the book.
The little boy inside the man.
Ah.
Right?
Yeah.
So the book is about Tony's life as a young man and
Yes.
a story he never told,
Right.
filled with most of his life was shame about it, which is why he never told anybody, right?
Yes, shame.
And then the last conversation we had, I asked you why you wrote the book, and you said because you were ashamed to not write the book. So give us a breakdown.
Well, like I said, no one knew my story, either my competitors or my exes. No, I never told anyone because it was like top secret. And I was embarrassed. And, the backlash I would probably get from it. But then one day I just said, hey, just write the book. It's therapeutic for myself. Mm-hmm. And just to get it out. Because I felt I was living a lie. That's what I felt. I was living a lie. And I just wanted to share my story. If I could help one child, that's great for me,
Tell our viewers what the book's about.
It's about me growing up in Memphis, Tennessee, doing the civil rights down in Tennessee. And I was raised by my great auntie, and I was tortured and
physically,
as a child,
emotionally.
Yes, completely.
By her.
By her. She was an alcoholic, and my dad gave me away, and
threatened her.
And threatened her in the process. I never had friends. Never allowed to have friends. Never had a birthday party. We didn't have Christmas. We lived in a shack.
With no electricity, no plumbing.
Exactly. So, in the woods in Memphis.
Chopping down trees during the day.
Yeah, imagine the 60s.
Yeah. I have to tell you, my life was so different that reading your book, I can't imagine that, Tony. You say that with as if I would understand it, and I don't. I mean, I read the book and I cried with you. I cheered for you in the book. I was so thrilled for you every time you overcame anything. But to say that I understood any of it, that would be a lie.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people read the book and they go, oh my God, we knew you, but we didn't know this about you.
So
very shocking.
Yeah, it's incredibly shocking. Let me ask you this. What came first, the story that you put down, obviously your life, or the name of the book?
I think the name came first.
And what does that name mean to you?
Driven. You're forever driven. You're so determined.
And where did that come from?
Instinctively, I was inside of me. It just came out of me. And what I've gone through, it's like, if I could survive that's 12 or 13 years of torture. So. And
we mean torture, you guys. When he was 3, she held him over a flame. She didn't feed him well enough. He told her he was hungry and that didn't matter. No. We're talking about brutally
serious
and emotionally beaten down.
Yes, daily. So that was life.
But somehow you remained steadfast with an abominable spirit and drive.
And I don't know where that comes from. I was 19 years old and I said, I'm getting out of St. Louis and I'm going to take a one-way trip to California on a bus. So one of my high school friends, we got together and said, yeah, let's go. We're going to go to paradise.
Well, I remember reading that you had read about Venice Beach, and that was what your drive to California was, because you had already started lifting weights by then.
Right. Yeah.
Had you won any competitions in Memphis before you left for California?
No. I went to high school in St. Louis, Missouri. So in the book of St. Louis, we moved from Memphis to St. Louis because my auntie had a daughter who lived in St. Louis. Mm-hmm. So there, I went to junior high, high school, and I went off for the wrestling team because I met Muhammad Ali and I got so inspired. Oh my God, I was 13
Tell
years
us that
old.
Story about how you met Muhammad Ali at 13.
Yeah, so I was walking down from school one day and I saw this limousine pull up in front of a high school, police escort, the whole thing. I go, it must be the president of the United States.
Sure.
So I run as fast as I could, and Muhammad Ali gets out of the car, and I'm like looking up at him like, oh my, he's God, like a God. And so the very next day I said, oh man, I gotta do some type of sports. I don't know what.
That was it. That was that moment.
I couldn't, too slow. I couldn't run track. I was too short, can't play basketball. So, and my friend says, man, you're really strong. I guess from chopping down trees for 12 years.
Sure.
I was very strong. So I went up for wrestling. I made the team, and short story, I messed up my knee, had an operation on my knee. So that ended that after a couple of years. I was never a great wrestler because you have to start when you're 5 years old to be really good at something.
Yeah.
So here I am.
Well, apparently not, because how old were you when you started bodybuilding?
I was 17,
All
and
right,
most people start at 14. So still, once again, a little bit late.
Okay.
But I had a great trainer.
And how did you get into bodybuilding from wrestling?
My wrestling coach saw me working out in the weight room trying to rehab my knee. And I was there every day. I loved it. And he goes, hey, you want to go to a real gym? Yeah. You're not my kid. So he takes me to this guy named George Turner, St. Louis, Missouri. Big gym. It was brand new. It was beautiful. I was training for 3 hours. And the first day, George comes over. He goes, get in my office. I go, what did I do wrong? Scared to death.
Well, because anytime anybody else ever spoke to you like that, you were going to get your ass kicked at home. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Conditioned. And so I go into his office and he goes, be here tomorrow at 6 p.m. I'm training you. Don't be late. That was the beginning.
That changed your whole life, Tony.
It changed my whole life. But as you can see, what happens if my auntie didn't have a daughter in St. Louis, I wouldn't have gone there. If my wrestling coach didn't offer to take me to the gym, I wouldn't have met George.
Right.
So my life just seemed like it was happening, but I had no control over it.
Divine intervention of sorts.
Yes.
Let's go backtrack for a second. Okay. So you move in with your auntie at 3.
Yeah.
And then you go to Memphis to be with your cousin and your aunt in the same house. Am I right?
We go to St. Louis.
Oh, St. Louis. I'm sorry. Okay.
Memphis to St. Louis.
And you were taken out of the home because somebody realized, as quiet as you were and as mute as you were, that something was up. Yeah,
my body language and my face expression and my demeanor, staring at the floor the whole time. I mean, it was lost. And a lot of kids are suffering today. They're going through the same things, and they have no escape. They have no hope. And the suicide rate for kids are extremely high these days, and that's part of it. Yeah. Abuse from home, and they have no way out, nowhere to turn. They don't have money. So, and my counselor, high school counselor, said, they saw this, and they got me out of the home. The police come to my house, they escorted me out after 12 years.
When the counselor approached you and brought you into the office, were you afraid to tell her, or it was a woman, right?
No, it was a guy.
It was a guy. Were you afraid to tell him when he asked what was up?
God, yes.
What made you admit it?
It was like my one chance.
So you obviously, because here's the thing, Tony, some other adults knew that look. We've all seen children like that.
Yes,
and
I see it.
And people are so afraid to do anything.
Right.
But somebody finally did something. And imagine if somebody had done something sooner. But then again, maybe if somebody had done something sooner, you never would have met George Turner or Muhammad Ali. So maybe it's okay.
True. Exactly. Right. Things happen at the right time, I guess. So yeah, he got me out, and I went to a group home. Now, and it's about 30 other kids, all boys. And we had to fight every night. I had to fight every night because to defend yourself. Oh my These God. Are rowdy kids, they're into crime.
Which you never, ever felt. But you never did drugs. You never cursed. And you never committed a crime.
No.
Which, by the way, I say that like I'm surprised. And I only say that because we talked once where you said that children like you, that's often what they did. And you just had a feeling you knew you didn't want to do that kind of thing.
Right. But Auntie, I have to give her a little credit. She always said, you don't do these type of things.
Okay, good for her.
And she meant it.
Okay, so yeah, because she'd kill you if you did.
Right. Yeah. You're going to die. So
I've told my children that, by the way, about things like that. I have definitely have a little bit of Auntie Betty in me.
You're going to pay for this.
That's right. You're going to answer to me. So
right.
Yeah. So good for Auntie Betty. Okay, I'm going to give her that.
Right. So that had something to do with it.
Okay,
but
good.
Personally, I felt it was wrong to do. Yeah. I still today I check myself.
Yeah. Well, we're supposed to. We all have to, right?
Oh, people don't check themselves.
I know they don't.
I check my behavior. I check what I say, and I go, that was not right. Go back and correct it.
Yeah, but that's a sign of emotional intelligence that a lot of people just aren't in touch with. It's so weird to me.
No. How can you not be in touch with your own emotions and who you are?
Well, remember, Tony, you pushed a lot of that down, but you also didn't share it with anybody. So your emotions have been all you know everything about
Locked
how
in.
you run. Yeah. So that's a whole different place to run from. And you kept it a secret for all these years. But let's go back. So you graduate high school. You've been reading about Venice Beach. Was Arnold big back in that day?
Oh, he was number one.
He was. So he'd already won with.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
What year was this?
1976.
And you think,
so
I'm getting out of this.
his last show was in 75.
Okay.
Arnold. So he retired. So, yeah, I said, I want to go to California. And George Turner says, well, if you go out there, which he was very upset about, he didn't want me to leave, look up Kenny Waller, go to Ghost Gym in Venice.
Gold.
And in Venice, California. And I go, Venice, California, where is that? Never heard of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was the main purpose of going out there. I wanted to be a bodybuilder. I wanted to be in the magazines. And I was so impressed. The first time I saw bodybuilding on television as a child, maybe 13, 14 years old, when they start posing and the definition and the shape and the presentation, it's art.
Yeah.
So those guys look like a piece of work of art.
Chiseled art. I've seen
Chiseled.
you in your show when I was watching the documentary from your show the other day, watching every striation in your chest, and you have that thing where you can make it all ripple it's crazy to me how lean you get and how you can see every bit of your anatomy under your skin.
Yes, that's the whole idea. You want to show every separation, muscularity.
Oh, you show it.
And presentation, and then the lighting. So it's a work of art. It's art.
It sure is.
I've never seen bodybuilding as bodybuilding. I'm an artist, and I never wanted to be big.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be big enough to win.
Yeah.
So at the gym, you don't recognize me. I look skinny. In my clothes, I look skinny. But only under the light do I come alive. But to me, that's the art.
Yeah.
That's the illusion.
Well, and you're a performer. You're like a magician.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I would do my guest posing or my posing routine, and people run backstage and go, was that you out there? I look so
Are you
small.
the same guy?
Yeah, I look so small.
Well, because when you're standing like this, and then you do that thing where your back goes like this, and your waist is like this big, it's crazy. And if you've never seen it, you guys, YouTube Tony Pearson, and you can see him. You do the same poses. Is it the same exact routine? I mean, do you just know your routine so well that you do it?
Well, there's another part of this story I must tell.
Please.
I was so injured prior to the show. I had a pinched nerve in my neck.
From this last show?
Yeah.
Okay.
My hip was hurt. I couldn't practice my posing. I didn't practice my posing. I said, God, let me get to the stage. I'll fake the posing. Just let me get through these workouts these last 3-4 weeks in pain, training 3 times a day. If I get to the stage, I'll fake the posing. So I rehearsed the last 2. Got backstage, go here, first 2 poses. Then after that, just go.
And
just
it seemed to go well. Well, that's like riding a bike, isn't it? I mean, come on, you did it for 20 years.
Right. Yeah, but when I competed when I was 57, I hadn't competed in 18 years. And I forgot how to pose.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I'm sure
had to reteach myself.
Because you got to make certain muscles pop and other muscles not work when you're highlighting, right? I mean, not that I know, but I'm guessing.
Yes, when you flex, you're contracting everything at once, from head to toe.
Do you get out of breath?
Yes.
You do? I've never noticed that.
Oh, it's exhausting. Because you're contracting all your muscles as hard as you can, from pose to pose, transitioning. Yeah. So, and you're smiling the whole time.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to show the pain on your face. It's entertainment. You're entertaining the crowd.
And did it hurt with your pinched nerve and your hip and all that while you were up there? Or were you just too into the moment and didn't feel it?
I had a guy worked on me, so he's trying to get rid of the pain in my neck, and he worked on my knee and my foot. Yeah. This is like
all the old man stuff.
I'm not going to make it to the stage. I can't. But I got to get up there.
It'd be nice if you went up with a walker and a hot pack, and then you just took it off. And
so boom. I promised the promoter I was going to do it, and I quit twice in the process.
You did?
Yes, I said I can't do it. 2 months out, I can't do this. And then I said to myself out loud, "You have never quit. You're not going to quit now."
And you wrote a book called Driven. Where's the drive in quitting?
Yes, that's where the book comes in. So yeah, I just said, you're going to rat this thing out. If you die, you die. Who cares?
Did you think you'd die doing it? Did you think it was going to kill you?
Because Well, yeah, it's very dangerous because you dehydrate. I'm not recommending anyone to try doing what we do. This is extreme level. But to get, like you said, with no body fat, down to 3-4% body fats, it's very dangerous, especially at my age.
Yeah.
So, but I was taking that risk. Because, and the other thing is too, it wasn't just trying to win the show, it's my whole career is on the line.
Yeah.
If I look bad, those pictures would live forever.
Yeah, that stuff doesn't go away.
No. It would be on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram before I got home.
That's right. And you see those things. Look what happened to the child star. Look what happened to, poor Heather Locklear. Yes. That one, you never forget Heather Locklear when she got arrested. She was you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I want to, the idea that you are a sexful? You're so sexy. The idea that you are as successful as you are and have been, and 20 years of posing and winning is a long time, but then to do it again 14 years later and do it again at almost 64. All of this is based on your spirit, your fight, and your drive that came from, your life might have been so different had your parents had a happy marriage, had your dad been a lovely guy. And so,
I thought about that.
Tell me.
I said, Dad messed this whole thing up. It's all his fault.
Thank you, Dad.
He was nice to my mom. She would never left.
That's right.
We would all be together, but I would be in Memphis, and what would I be doing today? This seemed like this was my life as planned for me, but it just had to go through a lot to get there.
Are you ever grateful for what you've been through?
Yes, I am. Yes.
What are you the most grateful for in that horrible time? What are you the most grateful for?
That I survived, and that you can survive. It's that you got to have the mindset. It's a mindset. You don't have to turn to crime and drugs and alcohol to escape. So the weight room was my escape. Mm-hmm. Competing was my escape. Mm-hmm. That was a healing process for me. And writing the book, of course. That's really healing process.
I bet, because all that stuff that had pushed down that you brought up, and you detail years of turmoil and hunger and fear. You detail it and the things that it interfered with, all of your love affairs that it interfered with.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So tell me more about, I want people to read the book and not know the whole story, but let's talk about the worst day you can remember living with Aunt Betty.
Being held over the fire at 3 years old.
And
that is a day I will never forget. To me, it's like yesterday. I still see myself over the fire at this moment.
Can you set up that moment visually for us? The way you talk about it in the book, Tony, you're right there with you. So give me a piece of that. Tell me about that day.
Yeah, my dad had dropped me off, I guess, and I was 3 years old. I didn't know what was going on up to that point. So I'm running through the little shack and playing with my ball, and like a 3-year-old. Yeah. Run bunches. And she said, "Go sit down." I said, I kept running. She said it again, "Go sit down." I said, "No." And that's when she grabbed me by one leg and an arm, pulled the stove back, the flames leaping, and then I'm over the fire. So yeah, I don't want to say.
Did you get burned? Did you feel the heat, or did you actually get burned?
Oh, I felt the heat. I got burned. And what she had to say, I'll burn you alive. But even worse than that. So when she put me on the floor, I was never a child again. That was it.
And then every day after that, you were just terrified.
Yeah.
Sorry I took you back there, but I think it's important for people to see you talk about that.
Yeah.
I remember reading so much about that, and reading about you being in the car while you were recalling things that had happened that you had to go home and write about, and crying in the car. And
right, yeah.
Was the book healing for you to write?
Yes, it was, but it brought up a lot of memories that you really push away. So you think about, in the days I had to write the bad stuff, it's like, oh my God, I gotta go home and write this. It was painful days to write. And then the good days when I'm winning a contest or something. That was fun to write about.
It's interesting to me, your ability to not just tell your story, but Tony, you write like a seasoned professional author. And I'm sorry I made you cry, but the details you share and the emotions, the range of them that you feel with you in the book, you're a beautiful author. And maybe just because it's all so true.
I'm such a perfectionist, and I wanted to put you there in the room. I wanted you to really feel that you're actually there.
Yeah.
You know?
What do you hope people walk away with after being there with you?
That it inspires people, gives them hope that they can believe in themselves. You can do anything you want to do, but you got to have that will. I mean, look at my last show. I could have quit. I could have walked away. I said, nope, you're going to go. You're going to finish this. You never quit. Don't quit.
Yeah.
If you quit, you've lost.
Yeah. Did you ever quit writing the book?
No, I never did.
I never did.
No, because it was therapeutic. I just got to get it out, put it on paper.
How long did you think about doing all that until you did?
It took years. Yeah. It just hit me one day. Just, write it. Just start writing it down. And then once I got halfway through, you got to finish it, just finish the book.
If you could give the book to anybody for a difference in their life, like who do you think is most important for that book to have?
For teenage kids to young people, and even adults too, because they're carrying around a lot of childhood issues that they're not, dealing with. Mm-hmm. And that affects their lives as an adult.
So you mean children who've been abused? Abused,
yes. Yes. Don't turn to drugs. Try to get help. And surround yourself with positive people. Try to find some sport, dance, singing, whatever, just positive.
And you got to be
passionate about. You got to be around positive people, not the negativity people, trying to bring you down. People don't want to see you be successful. They always tell you what's wrong. They never say you can do it. I had no one in my corner, even in my whole career. No one was at my shows. I had training partners.
Right.
It was all on me, win or lose.
Well, that's because you didn't let people in, because you didn't trust people, right?
I didn't trust people, but, they always got negativity, and that brings you down. It wears you down.
Yeah, it does.
So, but I kind of used that. I said, okay, I can't. I'm going to show you I will. I'm not going to tell you I will. I'm going to let my body tells you.
Well, not only that, because you can say all you want, but the only way you can trust people is not what they say, what they do.
That's right.
And so you learn that, and that's how you behave. You don't talk about anything. You just perform well. You're
right.
kind, you're egoless, and you work your butt off.
Right. Yeah. And I've been preaching that a lot lately. Just do the work. You got people on Instagram and all these outlets, Twitter and all these things. And I go, just do the work. Don't talk about doing the work. I read all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then they don't come successful. They don't win. And I go, what happened? They didn't do the work.
That's right.
I go to the gym. I got a hood out. I'm in the corner. I don't want to talk. I'm not on my phone. I'm not drinking water. I am working. Mm-hmm. That's how you win. Like I said, that's why I wrote Driven, because I'm so determined. I'm such a perfectionist. So I got to get it right the first time.
Boy, did you with that book.
There's no second chances. And I was terrified with this book. I'd never written a book before. I didn't know how to write a book. I taught myself how to write the book.
Yeah, how did you do that? Did you read a bunch of biography books and stuff, or life stories?
Yeah, life stories, and I got an idea. Okay, the prologue goes here, and this goes here. Chapters go here, and just write from your heart.
Yeah.
Express, give it detail.
Yeah.
Give it a lot of detail. In my mind, it was like a movie. Writing it was like a movie. You were actually in the scene.
Is it in black and white or color in your mind?
Oh, color.
It is.
Oh, full of color. It's alive. Oh, yeah.
Since the book, is the movie easier to see in your head, less painful, or more prevalent? What's changed in your head and your spirit and your soul since you've let it all out?
It's just peaceful. The book is, I mean, the movie is there. I mean, it's in my mind. I still see it.
Yeah.
You know, Muscle Beach, you know, first time, and going to Gold's Gym the first time, and in London winning Mr. Universe, and, you know, just all those places that I went and how I got there.
You traveled the world.
I did quite a bit.
Tell me the story about meeting Arnold.
So I'm on Muscle Beach working out, and it's about 100 degrees every day. And those in its mid 70s, it was really hot in LA.
Yeah. Now it's 115 there on the hot days.
Right. So I'm working out in the heat, and the weight pen is called. There's no top. I'm squatting 400 pounds because that's what George taught me.
Right.
10 sets of 10, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays.
And you had a buddy who you would challenge, right?
Yes, I have a training partner, and we, of course, going to challenge each other. We're kids, you know.
Yeah.
So one day, we finished the workout, and there's people in front of me. I was talking to the people, a crowd of people behind the fence, and they all stopped and they looked behind me, and they're like, I go, what are they looking at? And I turn around, and it's Arnold standing in front of me. He says, I've been watching you.
I like that. Go ahead. Can you do the whole conversation with this accent?
He says, I've been watching you. You train very hard.
You're so good at that.
And you have a lot of potential. Let me take you through the workout. So,
wait, say it again. I was laughing over it. Say it again.
You have a lot of potential. Let me take you through a workout.
Did you die?
No, it was, and I realized he trained my chest and he trained my triceps, but I didn't realize till later why he did that, because that's where I was weak.
But he saw that in you and wanted to
He saw
fix
my
it.
legs. My legs were good. You know, they're still writing in the magazine how bad my legs are. Why don't they go talk to Arnold? He saw how my legs were.
He was good with them.
I'm in his book. He talked about how great my legs were. And I still could criticize. They said, oh, he doesn't have legs. I still hear it today.
Oh, shut up. Who cares?
Yeah.
It doesn't stop you from winning trophies.
Right. I said, I must be Houdini, because I tricked the judges 14 times.
There you go.
The guy with no legs, and he won.
Well, we did say you were a magician earlier, so good. But let him talk. Who cares?
So Arnold take me through the workout, and I was like, I was speechless. I'm just sitting, looking at him like the whole time.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, imagine that. I saw him on television back in St. Louis, and here he is in front of me. So complete the workout. He says, well, I want you to go see Joe Weider. So he took a pen out. He wrote down the address to Joe Weider's office, which is in Woodland Hills.
And Joe Weider, you guys, in case some people who are watching this aren't big fans of bodybuilding and all that, was the head of the IFBB. Joe Weider was the biggest guy in bodybuilding. He was behind Arnold the entire time, which is why Arnold became the guy he is.
Yes.
Joe Weider was the guy in the 70s and the 80s in bodybuilding.
Right. They created bodybuilding.
Right.
Him and his brother, Ben Weider, they created it. So for Arnold to send me to see Joe, I'm like, totally excited. I'm going to be in a magazine, they said. Oh my God. I had no titles. No. I competed twice back in St. Louis, and I won I came in 6th and a 3rd place, Mr. St. Louis and Mr. Missouri. So I had no titles once I got to LA, and I go to see Joe Weider, and it didn't turn out too well. If you read my book, you'll see what happened there. And
he had a thing against you, and he did everything he could to keep you down.
Yeah, from day one.
Day one.
I think what I'm looking back on, maybe he didn't see potential in me.
So he just wasn't interested?
Because he had Arnold, he had Robbie Robinson, he had Frank Zane, he had
the guy
won the first, all these incredible champions.
But lots of people compared you to all those people throughout your career.
They did later on. But at that moment, 1976, I was just a kid. I weighed about 170 pounds, soaking wet. So he looked at me. But what Arnold saw was potential. The intensity of the training that I was going through, I was putting myself through. He saw the work ethic. He saw the drive. And we were training like madmen. I was taught that way.
Yeah.
That's all I knew. So I think that's what because he said to me, I've been watching you for months.
Oh, I thought you meant just that day.
No, he says, I've been watching you for months. I go, what? I didn't know that. I had no clue.
I know that you were kept under Joe Weider's thumb and not but everybody said that you should have been up there with Frank Zane and all those people had it not been for Joe Weider.
Right. I don't have any answers to that. And I wish I could have asked him that question one day, when I had the courage to ask,
Yeah.
Why? I mean, what is it about me? A 19-year-old kid that was starving, poor, come to LA, just want to win contests. I just want to win.
I want to work.
And keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
I didn't talk to anybody.
How old would you have been before you had the nerve to say that to him or ask him?
It would have to be my 30s before I got the courage to ask him those questions. Yeah.
Okay.
But I never got that chance. So, but I look back and go, maybe he didn't see any potential. So why waste his time? That's my take on that. Because they wrote the article, but they didn't publish it.
Oh, that's right.
For 2 years, it was set in the office for 2 years.
Yeah.
After I won Mr. America. So, yeah.
So your biggest titles, Mr. America in 1978?
78, yes.
78. And then in 79, you won
Mr. World.
Mr. World.
Twice. I won in New York and I won in Verona, Italy. The pro and the amateur.
Verona is so beautiful.
Yes. That was great.
Oh my God. Well, let me ask you this. You have not performed since you published the book. This is your first time, right?
First time, yeah. Right. And it's the frame of mind when you're competing, preparing for a show. It's a whole different frame. I'm two different people. When I'm in for the show, nothing matters. Nothing matters. Nothing else gets done. Only this show. And I want to win. And I'll do whatever it takes to win. I will train 4 times a day. That's what it takes. You're so in a zone. You're so high mentally.
Yeah. And
then when the show's over, you crash hard. Either you win or lose or draw. There's a depression after the show.
The ending of the moment, yeah.
Yes, because this for months or years up here, and then all of a sudden.
It's interesting how you talk about being a different person when you're on stage, because when you think about the 3-year-old in you who stopped being a kid at 3, and to me, I picture a shriveled up soul at that state. But then your other persona becomes hulky and superhero, big guy that nobody could ever hurt, and so talk about creating a different, like this was the life you were given.
Right.
And this is the persona you built, which I would guess helped the baby in you, helped the child in you.
It was healing. It was therapeutic. Yeah. It was healing. Yeah.
Yeah. Except that shame and all that stuff stuck with you under all of that muscle for all those years. Yes.
I used to read the articles they would write about me, some of them really good articles. But I was told by Robbie, he says, do not, believe in your own press. Do not believe your own press. And he was right. I never believed it. I would laugh. Because they write like I'm some superhero, some super god, and I start laughing. It's just funny.
Well, you are on stage, and that's what you're performing as that, and that's okay. But like you said, that they don't know anything about what's going on inside.
Yes. And I felt bad because I said, I'm living a lie.
Right.
This is not true.
Did you always feel bad?
Yes.
What gave you the courage to do it?
I just had to do it. Just something that came over me. I had to write the book. And then I thought about these kids that need help. There's a lot of kids that are hurting, turn into drugs, turn into crime.
And the suicide rate that you mentioned.
Yes, there's no outlet. And no one's talking about this. I Googled it. 4 or 5 kids die per day by someone in the family members. The kids are dying. These are young kids from age, basically 2, to 15. This is what's happening still today. But no one's talking about that. It's shocking. And they need help.
Tell everybody the story that you told me, not the story, but the feeling you have when you're walking down the street and you see a kid and you know something.
I see their face. I see the body language. They're staring at the floor. They have no expression on their face. It's just blank. And I know. And then I look at the parents. I go, oh boy. I know. That was me.
You see yourself in that kid.
Totally. Yeah. Every time I look at this cover, I'm still asking myself, how can I save that kid? And it's me. How, it's like, it's weird. How can I, because I see I see the eyes, I see the expression. How can I save this kid? How can I protect this kid? Can't, it's too late.
Except that boy, Tony, the life you gave yourself, you kind of did save that kid. You took that kid out of that life. You bravely, with $18 in your pocket, got on a bus and changed your life and left Memphis behind you, or
St. Louis.
St. Louis behind you. And so, dude, you are a hero to that kid. And now you want to be a hero to the rest. I mean, all that press that called you a hero and a superhero and all that stuff, there's no such thing as a real Superman, but writing the book that can make some little boy or girl realize that there's no shame in it.
Right.
That they didn't do anything to deserve
They shouldn't
it.
be ashamed because you haven't done anything wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. It's your parents. You know, you're strong. You just got to be a fighter. You got to, you know, try to get help. So, yeah, I want kids to read my book because it's inspiring, hopefully for them, to motivate them.
Yeah.
And not to ever quit. Don't quit.
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Yeah.
Believe in yourself. With all the negativity, because what parents do, you're never going to be anything in life. You hear it all the time. Mm-hmm. Don't believe that. You got to believe in yourself. I heard it every day. You're nothing. You're never going to be anything. You're useless. I wrote that in the book.
Yep.
He's worthless. And this is the wrong thing you teach your kids. This is your mom and dad telling you this. How do you fight through that?
And it's interesting because it seems to perpetuate from father to son or mother to daughter. Like you think that if you were a beaten child, you would never beat a child. But it seems to be a thing that continues I don't know how to say that right, but
the cycle is a cycle
that repeats itself.
It does. It does. But you can break it. So you got to have the strong mind. I mean, it's a strong will. A friend of mine, he commented on my book. You're strong, not physically, mentally. That's all he said. Because he read my book.
Yeah. The book is beautiful. And the name of it alone, the idea that you found the drive after being held down for so much of your life. And then again, by the biggest guy in the business, and you didn't let it stop you. And I mean, your drive is what saved your life.
Yes, it did. Bodybuilding saved my life, my drive, determination. It saved me. Things are going to happen, but you got to have that fight inside. Don't talk about it, just do it. Stop talking, do it. If you think small, dream small, that's what you're going to have, small results. I want to be the best in the world, not best in the state, best in the world. How do I do that? How long is it going to take me? I don't care how long it's going to take. That's what we're going to do. Yeah, it's just thinking small. You got to think outside of the box, and you got to think big.
And nobody taught you that. That's just instinct for you. And
that's instincts.
It's amazing. I mean, I wonder if it can be taught. And if it can be taught, it seems that there's nobody better to teach that lesson than the man who wrote the book Driven. Like you said earlier, if you can change one person's life.
Yeah, it's so worth it.
It's right.
Yeah, kids are so innocent. They're so innocent. But even adults too. I mean, I had a lot of people read my book. They wrote some reviews, and they go, "Thank you for writing the book. It helped me."
Of course, it does.
It helped me. It makes me think about my own childhood, they would say, and what I went through. I'm not the only one. Everyone has a story to tell.
That's right.
So a lot of people are afraid to write that story, to tell that story.
I can't wait to see you save people and be the superhero that you clearly were born to be, and with all of the people who intervened and showed up when you needed it.
I appreciate it. You know, I became a bodybuilder, but this book is not about bodybuilding.
No.
Don't mistake this as, a bodybuilder guy. We don't read. It's about life. Tough life, hard life. And everyone's been through some things in their lives. So this is not about bodybuilding. It's a part of my life. Yes, it's in the book, but it's not the story.
Yeah.
The story is about a child.
Where you came from and what you became.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Hold the book up one more time. You guys, it's available on Amazon.
Yes.
Driven by Tony Pearson, My Untold Story. It is a quick, beautiful read. Quick, I say, because you just can't put it down. And I don't imagine you look at me and think I'm a person who can't wait to read a book about bodybuilding. And you'd be right about that. The book is a beautiful, soul-searching, reality-based life story.
Yes, it's a life story. Yeah, it's raw and it's real.
It's raw and it's real, and it will touch you. You will love it. Tony, thank you so much for joining me and for sharing and for being vulnerable. You are such a beautiful soul, and it is such a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me on. I enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for saying that.